Sometimes people will buy a house that they can't really afford and they have to unwind the situation. They'll call me and I find myself giving them advice that maybe they don't really want to hear. So in this case, this guy calls me up and explains to me that he had bought this house several years ago for about $560,000 and he still owed very close to 560. But the house today was only worth about $530,000. He was about 30 grand upside down. I was like, wow, how did that happen? He goes, I don't know. I was like, was it new construction? He goes, yeah, it was new construction. So the house, new had sold for the higher amount, but as a resale, it wasn't going to sell close to that. It's about 30 grand upside down. But what he didn't know, what I knew, is that I know there's about $20,000 of real estate fees when you want to sell a house like that. So he's really about 50 grand upside down to get out. And so then I was like, okay, what's your mortgage payment on this place? He's like, my mortgage payment is a little under 4,000. And he'd given me the address and I'm looking at the estimates of rent. And I realized that the max he's going to be able to rent this thing out max is about $3,800. He's going to have to, if he rented it, he's going to take it about a $200 a month loss. Could be more than that. And if he sells it, he's going to have to take about a $50,000 hit. So I just said to him, I was like, I think your best option is probably to rent that house out. And when I say rent that house out, that means that you're going to be losing $200 to $400 a month. I don't know if you want to go ahead and buy another house, but if you want to get yourself to a payment that's $1,000 less a month, we can probably help you get approved to do that. But the reality of that situation is if you save $1,000 on the mortgage and you take a loss of $200 or $300 on that property, I think all in you could save about $700 a month. This is assuming that the tenant doesn't do anything in the house to damage it. You don't miss any month's rent. So that's a pretty brutal situation. He says to me, well, what do you think I should do? It's like, well, I did have a situation years ago where I was not collecting enough rent to cover a mortgage payment, but I paid the difference and I kept that house for many years. And eventually that house got paid off and I still own that house today. So it's not terrible, but in the immediate situation, you're going to be losing a few $100s a month so that somebody else can live there. Or the other option would be is you're going to have to come up with 50 grand to get out of that situation, which I know you don't have. The third option would be to do a short sale on that property, but that's just going to bang up your credit and really you're going to have to go rent for several years. I mean, that is an option, but I wouldn't be one that I would recommend. I think it's taking a few $100 a month loss and moving forward from there.